This is Control Alt Break from the studios of Greyhead Digital. Catch the trends, news, and all that matters from the world of technology.
Many enterprises rely on third-party vendors to help them facilitate the delivery of products and services to their customers. However, these relationships come with one huge risk: data privacy, which must be a top priority in these relationships. Ultimately, the enterprise is accountable for the protection of its data. Therefore, enterprise vendor risk management must ensure a safe and healthy relationship with suppliers. Enterprises must also have sound governance, which includes business and technical requirements to ensure due diligence in the protection of the enterprise and its customers' data. Today's podcast is about the best practices to help manage enterprise third-party risk. Welcome to Control Alt Break, your daily podcast from Greyhead Digital on everything from the world of technology. My name is Ashwin Raghunath, and today is the 4th of September. In 2013, a third-party cyber risk incident occurred at a large US-based retailer. A phishing campaign infected the retailer's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning contractor with the Citadel Trojan, and that enabled attackers to gain full control over the contractor's systems. This data breach became one of the largest on record, affecting around 100 million customers and costing the retailer over $200 million. What this breach did was to establish a dominant narrative for many business executives considering their enterprise's third-party risk. It left many wondering which third parties on their networks could cause a similar breach. This concern has driven many enterprises to consider third-party risk management as one of their top priorities of their cybersecurity programs because customers do not regard the enterprise as a separate entity from its third parties. Therefore, third-party risk is enterprise risk. The importance of having a complete list of all third parties of an enterprise cannot be overstated. There is no worse scenario than receiving a notification from an unknown third party that they experienced a breach affecting the enterprise. To ensure the accuracy of third-party lists, the key control is clearly defining enterprise roles responsible for each aspect of the third-party engagement lifecycle. For large enterprises that may have several contracts with a single third party, the relationship manager role often has the overall accountability for the entirety of the third-party relationship. Managing third-party risk has a strong tech focus. We're talking about opening firewall ports to enable third-party access, or provisioning a virtual desktop infrastructure, or processing large data transfer requests. And these are processes that should be accommodated only for third parties on the approved third-party list, and only when appropriate data handling agreements have been executed as a part of the authorizations. The agreements ensure that data is transmitted in the context of appropriate legal and privacy protections and proper information security controls. It is often useful to collect metadata about third-party engagement to support not only cyber risk assessments, but also other types of assessment. For example, knowing the data types and volumes that the third parties store, process, and transmit helps an enterprise understand the role of the third party. An ISACA white paper released this month outlines 9 specific questions that professionals should ask during the third-party risk assessment process, and these includes these pertinent questions. Does the use of this third party involve any external-facing systems, including cloud? Will the use of this third party introduce any net new technologies to the enterprise? How much time does an adversary need to compromise systems and access data? What level of effort is required overall from the threat agent to compromise the third party? The conclusion is that building good enterprise processes, governance, and hygiene around third-party management is an important initial step to ensure that third parties are properly vetted before sending data to them. Additionally, an annual review of these third party is recommended. Business owners are responsible for accurate answers to the risk questions and should inform the enterprise if anything changes that brings the third parties into the scope of further action. These efforts help to ensure that contracts, including data privacy and security arrangements, are executed and enterprise data can be presumed reasonably safe under the purview of third parties. How are you managing third-party risk? Let us know. We're listening to you on our LinkedIn channels. Look for Dynamic CISO on LinkedIn, follow us, and leave us a line. Till tomorrow, this is Ashwin signing off for Control Alt Break and Greyhead Digital.